today we're making Persian pan kebab or kebabtabei using 2 pounds of ground beef. This kebab is typically prepared with a combination of ground beef and lamb, but you can make it with any ground meat such as beef, lamb, goat, chicken, or turkey as well. Next, you'll need 2 medium-sized onions. The color doesn't really matter. You want to grate them by hand or use a food processor or blender. I'd recommend using a food processor because through grating, you'll achieve a great amount of onion juice, which you have to get rid of. Therefore, you're going to get rid of so much onion flavor, which we don't want. For this recipe, I'd recommend using ground meat with 10 to 15% fat. If using very lean meat, make sure to use sufficient oil to pan fry your kebabs. Onions impart good flavor and juiciness. As you may know, onion flavor is a characteristic hallmark of Persian kebabs. And now it's time to season your onions. You want to add 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of sea salt along with turmeric powder and black pepper. Depending on your preference, you may add additional spices such as paprika and garlic powder. You definitely want to mix your seasoning with your onions first before adding it to your ground beef. This will prevent the seasoning to become too concentrated in one area of the ground beef. What makes kebabs so tasty is the addition of spices and marination in grated onions. Kebabs are generally grilled with tomatoes, green peppers, onions, or other vegetables. They are then served with slices of flatbread, heaping amounts of steamed rice smothered in butter and egg yolks, and topped with brilliantly colored sumac. Fresh herbs and raw onions are the most common side dishes. Persian pan kebab is a much simplified version of the traditional Persian kebab, as it's cooked in a pan rather than grilled. The dish can be assembled as a one-pot meal in which all ingredients are cooked together. I guess we can all agree that it's no secret that Middle Easterns love their kebabs, and sometimes the focus on the kebab in Persian restaurants eclipses other dishes. Fortunately, that trend is beginning to shift, and now more attention is being given to all the glorious stews and rice dishes that add to the complexity and flavor of Persian cuisine. Either way, I'm happy to be sharing this simple but delicious kebab option. Combine all ingredients and knead well. You want to rest your meat mixture for about 16 to 12 hours in the fridge. Ground beef is a good source of high-quality protein, B vitamins, zinc, selenium, and iron. And always pair kebabs with lots of vegetables at the meal. Choose grass-fed meats for better nutrition quality. This is a low-carb, gluten-free, high-protein, egg-free, dairy-free, nut-free, and soy-free recipe. You can always lower the salt to make it low sodium. After marinating your meat mixture for 6 to 12 hours, you want to shape it into a thick, round disc and transfer it to a frying pan. Before doing so, add 1/4 cup water into your frying pan to prevent the meat from becoming too dry. Instead of a frying pan, you may use a cast iron, which works pretty well, cooking the kebabs in a short time with good heat conduction, imparting a nice sear and flavor. Meanwhile, please subscribe to our channel and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Persian and kebab are 2 concepts that cannot be separated. Weekends and holidays come with families gathering together and making kebabs, usually on the grill. As many people don't have a grill at home or just don't want to use it, we have this version of kebab that's cooked in a pan and often served with white and saffron Persian style rice. Additionally, when you have a craving for kebabs but you do not have much time and patience, you can go for a Persian pan kebab. I'd like to mention that ground beef is a bit like bread. The more you knead it, the denser the finished product will become. When you work the beef, you're working proteins together, just like kneading bread creates long strings of gluten. So mix your meat delicately until your seasoning is just incorporated and leave it at that. Now that you have shaped your meat mixture into a thick round disc, you want to use a butter knife or actually any knife to cut 1.5 inch wide strips. Dip your knife in a glass of water each time before cutting so that your knife doesn't stick to the meat. This cutting will help you to easily flip your kebab strips once one side is cooked. Now, keep in mind that in the cooking process, your kebab strips will shrink down significantly and they'll actually start to somewhat stick to each other. So before flipping it over, you're gonna cut one more time. But because we cut the meat before cooking, this will actually be so much easier. These nicely spiced pan kebabs will be seared to juicy perfection, an unbeatable way to satisfy your Persian food craving. You want the thickness of each kebab strip to be about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. You may wonder, can I make this in the oven? Well, the answer is yes. You can shape a 10-inch flat meat patty on a parchment paper lined baking sheet and broil a couple minutes until golden brown. Then you can flatten your meat patty slightly and cut out 1.5 inch wide strips. Flip your meat strips and broil until dark brown. Then flip the kebabs again and broil until dark brown on the other side. If you're into meal prepping, then you can prepare the ground meat mixture a day ahead. Cooked kebabs can be reheated in a frying pan or oven by spraying a little bit of water to keep them juicy. Next, I'm gonna make some roasted vegetables by using 6 tomatoes and 2 Cubanelle peppers. You don't have to use Cubanelle peppers, you can use any kind of pepper that you prefer. Instead of roasted vegetables, you may choose to make some pan-seared vegetables. Just heat up some olive oil and fry the tomatoes and peppers on medium-high heat for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Sprinkle with salt and carefully remove from the pan. If you don't like to serve this dish with rice or bread on the side, then I'd recommend serving it with some oven roasted potatoes. You can find a recipe for oven roasted potatoes on my channel, so check that out and also check out the description box for all the details about this recipe. And by the way, if you're not following us on social media, then you should definitely check out our pages on TikTok and Instagram at Flavorsome Kitchen and Twitter at Flavorsome Kitch, so Kitch. The great thing about this dish is that you can refrigerate leftovers in airtight containers. Cooked kebabs can definitely be frozen. Now I'm just seasoning my vegetables with 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of black ground pepper. Alright, I'm gonna cook my vegetables each side for 5 to 7 minutes on medium-high heat and my kebab strips each side for 20 to 30 minutes on medium-low heat. And voila! My Persian pan kebab along with roasted vegetables are ready to be served. I'd recommend serving this dish along with Persian steamed rice, which you can find the recipe on my channel, or Persian flatbreads, sumac, raw onions, and a platter of fresh herbs. I hope you enjoyed learning about this yummy recipe. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family members. Talk to you soon and take care!